What I wanted to ask about is I've been following you for maybe 3 or 4 years, something like that, and I've been studying you so much that I feel like the change in me for getting closer to alignment has been gradual, but I want it to be something more I feel like I have control over. I was talking with some people in the audience about like meditation and stuff like that, and I think for the past 2 weeks I stopped doing meditation because it felt more like a chore than something that was actually going to benefit me. And I know you said that if it doesn't feel good, then you shouldn't be doing it. So I want to see how I can push myself and feel more in control of my life.
Well, consider this. So you get it, that the reason that we would encourage you to meditate is because you might have some busyness going on in your vibration that isn't serving you, that if you were to meditate, it would soften it and you'd be in a better place. And you also get it that if you're being really specific about something that you don't believe, that you're sort of shooting yourself in the foot. So being more general is a good tool. So you're also getting it that if you are chilled, if you are in alignment, meditation isn't a good idea because you're already there. In other words, here's the gauge that we would apply and the question that we would ask of ourselves. If I'm tuned in, tapped in, turned on, then thinking about what I want is the best thing to do. If I'm out of whack, meditation is a better plan. Mm-hmm. If I'm holding my cork under the water, letting it go is the best idea. If it's bobbing on the surface, thinking about how fun it is a better idea. Mm-hmm. You see what we're getting? Mm-hmm. We're not encouraging you to meditate just for the sake of meditating. It's a tool to release resistance. And sometimes you don't have any resistance to release, so it is a chore that is unnecessary. And the reason you called it a chore is because parents are all the time giving you meaningless things to do that you're not inspired to, that you don't want to do, that you don't have any momentum going for, so it feels like a chore. And why does it? Because you didn't want to do it, because there's no momentum going. We think it's wise. We don't want you to make chores out of our processes. We want you to use them as tools to improve your vibrational state of being. Mm-hmm. You heard that clearly, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. But I still feel like I do have resistance that I need to work on. I don't feel like I'm at that level where it's okay. Well, I don't feel like I'm at that place where it's okay to not meditate or whatever. I feel like I still need to improve my alignment because my life is still kind of like up and down.
Well, we would rather see you having a wonderful walk outside than meditating, mm-hmm. because both are conducive to alignment. We would rather see you happy about something or appreciating something than meditating, because whether you're meditating or appreciating, there's still no resistance. So just move around in the knowledge that you've found and see what fits this moment and what fits this moment. Sometimes in a something is better. In other words, there's no right or wrong. Just do your best to apply as much that you know as best you can, and most of things down more than anything, and making meditation feel like a chore. Also, we don't want you to meditate to fix something that's broken. We want you to meditate because it feels good to release resistance. So what's topsy-turvy? What is it that you want to improve? What matters most?
I just want to feel more stability in my emotions. I feel like whenever I get out of whack, I have to kind of just ride it out because I don't know how to fix it in that moment.
No one does. Don't try.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we came up with that wonderful story. I've just jumped out of an airplane. I'm at 30,000 feet. I have no parachute. What should I do? Hang on, it will be over in a minute. Because there's momentum in it. Just write it out. But while you're writing it out, don't beat up on yourself about forgetting your parachute.
But I have a lot of those kind of moments, and so I feel like there's something that I need to be working on. That's why I feel like I need to be meditating or doing the positive aspects or something like that.
All right, you've
beforehand.
convinced us. You're bad, you should meditate more. You argued for your limitation. Here's the thing. You've got one foot stuck in one world and one foot stuck in the other, in the sense that you get it that it's vibrational, and you get it that you could do something about it, but you also believe in discipline. So and that's why you're calling it a chore. There's this thing that I should do, that if I would do it, I would be better off for doing it. But there's a sort of inner rebellion going on inside of you because you don't like to do chores. So we say, do whatever you want, and you say, no, I should be doing more. And we say, do more, and you say, yeah, but I don't want to be bossed around. And we say, you sort of have to find your place in that. You have to decide how you're going to feel right here and now. And so be kind to yourself in your self-dialogue. Say things to yourself like, I'm doing really well, and I'm understanding this more and more, and it's getting better and better for me. And meditation does serve me, but I don't want to meditate all the time. And again, we say, if you knew how much you wanted to be focused in this physical body, it's a natural thing that you don't want to quiet your mind and stop focusing. So here's the way we would approach it. I want to focus when I'm feeling good. And when I'm not feeling so good, I want to quiet my mind and meditate in whatever way I can. It's sort of like sometimes you just want to curl up and take a nap. Well, when you feel like that, do it. But you don't want to always curl up and take a nap. Sometimes you want to get out. Esther used to watch Jerry because they would go, their favorite place was La Jolla, because there's a beautiful place where the rocks just stretch out and out and out, and it's usually sunny, and so the rocks are warm, but the ocean air is cool. So it was just a really nice mixture of a cool breeze and warm rocks. It was just like the perfect place to relax and focus and feel good. So they would go there with this singular intent of just relaxing and feeling good. And they would spread themselves out on the rocks. Usually they didn't even want a blanket beneath them because the warm rock felt so good on their skin. So they would just lie there on the rocks, and Esther would barely be relaxed into feeling the ease of the moment. And she would hear or feel Jerry's fingers thumping on the rock, because he had already chilled. He had already come into alignment, and now his vortex was filling into his grid. And now his engine was revving. And she used to tease him. It was hardly worth all the time it took to get ourselves over here if this is as long as you're going to lay here on these rocks. But sometimes it takes a short period of time to come into alignment. And when you do, that's when the inspiration starts flowing, and that's when you want to start moving. He'd get his notebook out, he'd start writing. The ideas would just be flowing through, you see. So we don't want you to meditate all the time, and we don't want you to work hard. We want you to take inspired action. We want the meditation to lead you to inspired action if it does. But if it isn't working, then take another tact and another tact. There are many ways. Listen to music, take a run, pet your cat, walk with your dog, call a friend. In other words, do anything and everything you can think of that will bring you into a place of feeling good until you discover which things work best for you. And then understand that the thing that is working best today may not be the thing that is working best tomorrow, but before you know it, you'll have this whole pile of things in your pocket, a bag of tricks, so to speak. That was one of the things about the 22 processes that we put in the back of the Ask and It Is Given book. They were written in an understanding that you are at different vibrational frequencies. You are at different relationships to the source within you. And sometimes one process works better than another. So you just have to figure out what works best for you right here and now. But we want this conversation to do its job, if words could teach, in the convincing you that there's not one process that's going to work for you every time, but that the desire that is at the heart of this is what really matters. I want to feel as good as I can feel now. Right now, I'm going to do the best I can to feel good now. And so if you don't feel like meditating, that's fine. But when you beat up on yourself for not meditating, that's not fine. So it's like, pick something. Meditate or don't. Take a walk or don't. Go with that person or don't. Go with that person or that person. Do this thing or do this thing. But whatever it is you are inclined toward, line up with it completely. Don't not meditate and then beat up on yourself. If you're going to meditate, give it your all. If you're going to go with that person, give it your all. Give whatever you're doing your undivided attention. Give it a chance to come into sync with the power that creates worlds. And if it doesn't, then make another choice, until before you know it, you're going to feel really flexible and really free in the choices by saying things such as, this is what I've decided, I'm going to make this work. And I don't have to do it forever. This is a temporary thing that I'm choosing. But for right now, this is the direction I'm going. Sort of like Esther standing there at the ticket counter, and they're telling her that this flight isn't going, or it is going, but they're not going on it. Or maybe some of them could go, but for sure their luggage isn't. And in other words, there were many variables. You could do this, you could do this, you could do this, you could do this. So Esther stood there and she contemplated all of the things that were there, and then an idea flowed into her mind, and then she lined up with that idea. The others that were with her could hardly catch her. She wasn't even interested if they were coming with her or not. She was on her way to a rental car. Come if you want. I'm driving to Atlanta. In other words, she was lined up with it, completely lined up with it. Now, it was easy for her to line up with it because she's done it many times, and she's contemplated even about this trip, you see. But things get